I knew something was off the second I stepped out of the cafe and saw those lights reflecting off my windshield. Not the loud sirens, just that quiet flashing that feels almost personal, like someone tapping you on the shoulder saying, yeah, we need to talk. And there it was. My truck boxed in, diagonal cruiser behind it, and this officer leaning on my hood like it was his porch. You know that moment when your stomach tightens before your brain catches up? That was it. 3 sentences into my morning, and I already knew this wasn't going to be about parking. It was supposed to be a simple stop. Tuesday morning, predictable as hell, I had a secure briefing in less than half an hour, and all I wanted before stepping into that room was coffee. Just coffee, 5 minutes to breathe before the day swallowed me. I parked where I was cleared to park right in front of a federal annex. Most people walk past without realizing what's inside under a sign that doesn't ask questions or negotiate authorized vehicles only. My truck doesn't scream anything if you don't know what to look for. It just looks clean, heavy, expensive maybe. But if you do know what to look for, you know it's not something you hook chains to. It's not personal property in the normal sense. It's an asset, a rolling box of things that in the wrong hands turn a quiet street into a problem way bigger than any one cop. I was inside the cafe maybe 8 minutes. Ordered, paid, nodded at the barista, scrolled my phone without really seeing anything. When I walked back out, coffee warm in my hand, I saw the officer before he saw me. Mid-50s, thick waist, red face, that casual confidence some people wear when they've been unchallenged too long. He wasn't looking at my truck like it was illegally parked. He was looking at it like it offended him. I paused just a beat because if you've ever been judged before you open your mouth, you recognize that posture instantly. It's not curiosity, it's ownership. I walked up anyway, calm, neutral, because that's what years of practice teaches you. Afternoon, officer, I said, easy tone. Is there a problem? He didn't move, didn't glance at the sign, just looked me up and down slow like he was deciding what I was worth. You tell me, he said. You think this is a valet stand? I nodded toward the sign because facts still matter to me even when I know they don't to everyone. Authorized vehicles only. This is an authorized vehicle. He laughed, not because something was funny, but because he'd already decided he was going to enjoy this. Authorized by who, he said. I've worked this district for years. I know every diplomat, car, every official ride. I've never seen this rig, and I've never seen you. There it was, the assumption. The unspoken part said loud enough. I wasn't supposed to be there not looking like that, not driving that. I told him I'd transferred recently, that if he ran the plates everything would be clear. He waved it off like paperwork was beneath him. I don't need to run anything to know a fake, he said, hand resting near his belt like a prop. Illegal parking. Impersonating an official. Obstruction. That's when I felt eyes on us. A woman walking her dog slowed. A guy in running gear stopped. Phones started to hover. The street turned into a stage. I took a breath and told him I had my credentials right there, that he could just look. I reached slowly toward my jacket pocket, exactly how you're trained to do it, and his whole body snapped tight. Hands out of your pocket, he barked. Now. I froze, pulled my hand back empty. I'm reaching for ID, I said. I'm a federal agent. He sneered. Sure you are. Turn around, hands on the hood. There's a particular kind of anger that comes from that moment when you realize none of this is about safety, it's about control. He leaned in close and said it the word people use when they want to put you back in your place. You don't give me orders, boy. I am the police. The sidewalk went quiet. You could feel the tension snap into place. In my head, everything calculated automatically. I knew what I could do, how fast I could end it, but I also knew what the story would look like after if I did. So I swallowed it and turned around, palms on the hood, metal cold under my hands. I told him where my wallet was, told him the badge was inside. He patted me down hard, kicked my feet apart, yanked the wallet, flipped it open, looked for half a second, then tossed it onto the pavement like it was trash. Nice toy, he said. I told him that was a federal credential, that throwing it down was a felony. He said sue me and turned away like he'd already won. Then he called it in. Tow truck, rush, suspicious vehicle. That's when I closed my eyes for a second, because now he wasn't just being an asshole, now he was about to touch something he didn't understand. I warned him. I told him not to tow it, told him it had countermeasures, that without the right key it would lock down. He mocked me. I'm shaking, he said. You're not going anywhere. The tow truck came fast, big yellow flatbed chains clanking, driven by a guy who looked like he just wanted to finish his shift. The moment he saw my truck, he hesitated. Tow drivers know weight. They know stance. They know when something doesn't belong. He glanced at the plate, leaned toward the officer, and said he thought it looked federal. It's fake, the officer snapped. Hook it up. The driver looked at me. I wasn't yelling, wasn't panicking. I told him the truth calmly. 9,000 pounds. armored, winch rated for 6. I told him the suspension would drop, the axles would lock. He dropped the chain like it burned him, said he wasn't touching it. The officer got in his face and threatened his contract, his license, his livelihood. The driver flinched, looked at me like he was apologizing without words. I told him I understood. Just step back when it engages. Chains hooked, winch engaged. The flatbed strained, slid backward, tires screaming. My truck didn't move. Then the voice came, loud, metallic, bouncing off brick. Unauthorized towing detected. Countermeasures engaged. The suspension dumped and the whole vehicle dropped like it had decided to become part of the street. And then the siren hit, not an alarm, a weapon ripping through your chest. People covered their ears. The dog lost its mind. Cups blew over. The officer jumped back, yelling at me like I'd done something. I told him I hadn't. Only Central Command could shut it down now, which meant they already knew. Who knows, he yelled. My bosses, I said, and they hate paperwork. That's when I heard the helicopters. You feel them before you see them, that deep, rhythmic thump, wind kicking up trash and petals like a storm. 2 black birds dropped low over the rooftops. Not news, not tourists, the kind you only see when something's gone very wrong. At the same time, black SUVs came in hard, hopped the curb, boxed in the cruiser. Doors flew open. Men moved fast, coordinated, weapons up. Someone shouted weapon, and 3 green dots landed on the officer's chest. His confidence evaporated. I'm police, he yelled, hands shaking. Ground now. They put him face first on the pavement, ripped his gun away, snapped his own cuffs on him tighter than he ever put them on anyone else. He sputtered about his badge, his authority. Nobody listened. The team leader walked straight to me, asked for status. Asset secure, no breach, siren shut off, leaving that ringing silence that follows something loud and irreversible. A city captain arrived moments later, furious, trying to assert control by volume alone. He took in the helicopters, the rifles, his officer in the dirt, and you could see the calculation hit him all at once. Then a woman stepped out of one of the SUVs, sharp suit, sharper eyes, authority without a single raised voice. The captain recognized her immediately. His posture changed. She explained it to him calmly, clinically. What the vehicle was, what it carried, what his officer had tried to do. She said the word hostile like it was a technical term, not an insult. The captain went pale. The officer tried one last excuse, desperate now. He didn't look like an agent, he said. He looked like a thug. I stepped forward and asked him to explain that. Be specific. Suit, haircut, or skin. He couldn't answer. I pulled out the recorder I'd turned on when he first lit me up and played it back. His own voice filled the street, calling me boy, mocking my badge, ordering me around. When it stopped,